Get me that signal. We need more power.
Meanwhile, in a secret location, the Hall of Despair hatches an evil plan. Order? Order, I said. I call this meeting of the Hall of Despair to order. I, the Egyptologist, have called this meeting to put to rest everyone's fears that we are on the verge of defeat. First of all, yes, it is true that the Fantastic Four and the Silver Surfer have joined the heroes to stand against us. Order! Order! Calm down, you fools! This is nothing to us, for we have gained the aid of 2 criminal masterminds ourselves. The Mole Man has agreed to join the Hall of Despair. Come on now. The Mole Man has brought along his subterranean slaves to stop the Fantastic Four. They had no problem beating the Terrific 3, if you recall.
No one will escape the fury of the Mole Man.
Okay, fine. We also have Galactus. Yes, I knew you'd like that one. Galactus has agreed to solve all our superhero problems. He has even brought along his heralds to prepare the way for him. We've agreed to let him eat Mars and Venus, so if you have any family there, I suggest you get them back home ASAP. Now, if everyone has calmed down, let's take a look at our new adversaries and our new allies, and what dastardly plots they have schemed to take over this pitiful planet we call home.
The Fantastic Four mini-expansion doesn't really feel like a mini-expansion. It's got 100 new cards to add to your Legendary game, and Upper Deck Entertainment has managed to inject more fun into the game without a lot more complexity. Of course, you get all of the Fantastic Four heroes, Mr. Fantastic, the Thing, the Invisible Girl, and the Human Torch, but before we get into them, let's take a look at the new keywords that were added with this expansion. Focus is an interesting new keyword. When a card has the Focus ability, it allows you to spend your recruitment points to activate the Focus ability rather than using them for recruitment. A card will have the Focus keyword followed by a number. After the number is listed an effect. If you spend the number listed in recruitment points, you trigger the listed effect. For example, on Mr. Fantastic's common card, the one we're looking at here, he has the Focus 2 keyword. If you spend 2 recruitment points, hey look, he has 2 recruitment points, isn't that convenient? You trigger the card effect, which says, when you draw a new hand of cards at the end of this turn, draw an extra card. So you get to draw 7 cards instead of 6. Up to 7 cards. However, this ability isn't limited to one use. So if you have enough recruitment points to trigger the Focus ability multiple times, you can use it multiple times. So in this case, you could end up drawing 8 or even more cards at the end of your turn, if you throw enough recruitment points into the Focus ability. You can't use the points for recruitment if you spend them this way though, but it's a great way to make use of points that would be wasted otherwise, because let's face it, sometimes you reach the point that you don't want to recruit any more cards because you don't want to bloat up your deck. The Focus ability lets you have a use for these points, and they have come up with some pretty useful effects in this set. The other new keywords are on the villains, so we'll take a look at them in a moment. The Fantastic Four work best when used together, I've found. This is probably by design, but they're not useless when separated. Only 4 of Mr. Fantastic's cards have an attack ability, and one group of his cards has only the ability to let you draw 2 cards with no attack or recruitment points. His rare card, though, lets you spend recruitment points to add attack points on a 1-to-1 exchange. The only catch is that it must be used against the Mastermind. See? Now the Torch is designed to do a lot more attacking, and has the only card in the game that I've seen that gives you an attack of 4 and only costs 4 to recruit. which is right here. The catch here is that each time you play the card, you gain a wound. Luckily, one of his other cards lets you KO wounds in your hand or discard pile. Torch's rare card is a 6 attack and lets you add +1 to the score for every city space with a villain. So if you've already played another Fantastic Four card, see? You get +1 attack for each city space that contains a villain. Which is kind of nice. Comes in handy. Let's get on to Susan Storm. She's one of the most versatile heroes in this set. All of her cards cost 4 recruitment points, except for her rare card, which costs 7. One of her cards gives you +2 attack if you've played another card that has cost 4 points. So all the cards in her set complement each other well. She's balanced between attack and recruitment, and one of her focus abilities allows you to KO a card in your hand or discard pile. Her rare card is a 5 attack that lets you avoid an ambush and draw 2 cards instead. And let's face it, it really helps to be able to avoid an ambush at times. The Thing isn't as tough as you would think, as 10 of his cards are for recruitment. You can't see him here, but look at all those. Look at all those. All recruitment. His attack cards are nice, though, and they allow you to move villains around in the city, which comes in pretty handy against the Mole Man's subterranean followers. The Thing's rare card, it's Clobberin' Time. Clobberin' Time lives up to its name. It has a 5 attack and adds +3 for every other card with the strong symbol that you've played this turn, which is pretty nice. But, you know, it's his rare card. There's only one. Finally, the only non-Fantastic Four member of the team is the Silver Surfer. The Surfer concentrates on recruitment, but in a fairly unique way. His 4-cost card has recruitment of 2. But his focus ability of 6 that allows you to instantly defeat any villain with an attack score of 5 or 6. His 6-cost card gives you 3 recruitment, but will also allow you to spend 9 recruitment points to turn them into attack points. That's a +9 attack. And finally, his rare card automatically doubles all of your recruitment points. That might make a good combo with the previous card. Next are the new masterminds. Surfer, hello. The Mole Man starts out fairly weak with an attack score of 7. But he gets +1 for each of his subterranean villains that have escaped. Plus, during each Master Strike, all of his subterranean villains currently in the city escape. So, with a couple of bad breaks, you could be facing a pretty tough Mole Man. His villains are the new subterranean group, and they have a new keyword called burrow. Right there. A villain with burrow doesn't die when you defeat them. Instead, they burrow over to the streets spot on the board, and you have to defeat them a second time there in order to actually kill them off. If the streets are already occupied, then the burrow ability has no effect. And the other new mastermind is Galactus. And as expected, he is very tough to beat. Look at that, 20. He leads the Heralds of Galactus, who are also very tough to beat. All of them, including Galactus, share the new keyword Cosmic Threat. See? These bad guys all have high attack scores, and Galactus is a 20, his Heralds are 9, 10, 11, or 12, and they're pretty tough to beat until later in the game. So to help you out, the Cosmic Threat keyword was added to this group of villains. The keyword is followed by one of the hero icons, and for every card that you play that displays this icon, you subtract 3 from the villain's attack score. So you can beat these guys if you plan ahead and collect cards that have matching icons. Galactus himself can be affected by multiple icons, but only one type per turn that you select. You really need to put together at least 3 matching icons in one turn and get him down to an 11 in order to have any chance of beating him. He is the most difficult mastermind I've ever faced, and he's fun to fight against, even if you lose most of the time. The schemes complement... Hello, schemes! The schemes complement the included masterminds, and are challenging to beat themselves without the help of the masterminds. There are 4 new ones. I like the pull reality into the neutral zone scheme a lot, because after every other twist you have to switch recruitment points and attack points so that one becomes the other, which is wild. It makes for a crazy game, but it was a lot of fun. And the other one I liked a lot was the flood the planet with melted glaciers scheme. In this one, each twist becomes rising waters, and you KO all of the heroes in the headquarters that cost less than or equal to the number of twists that have been played. Once 20 non-gray heroes are KO'd, evil wins. Lots of luck of the draw involved there, but it was fun. The other 2 schemes are equally entertaining.
This expansion is well worth the cost. I'm happy enough just having the Fantastic Four, but the new masterminds, schemes, and villains really take the game up a notch. If I have any complaint, it would be that you get a far more effective group of heroes if you play the Fantastic Four together, and they're not as good on their own. It makes sense thematically, though. Plus, there were no additional divider cards included. I can fit them easily into my Dark City box, but I'm going to need to start creating my own dividers. Finally, I would still like to see a phone app that helps with randomizing, since the game has no randomizers. If anyone knows, please let me know ASAP. Overall, if you like Legendary, then there isn't any reason you would not want to pick up the Fantastic Four expansion. It's worth it for the villains alone. Thanks for joining me in this review of the Fantastic Four expansion to Legendary, the Marvel deck building game from Upper Deck Entertainment. Let me know if you found this review helpful by leaving a comment or sending me an email at Elliott_Miller@voiceofe.com. Make sure to subscribe to the Voice of E channel on YouTube, as I'll have plenty of gaming, entertainment, and comic book coverage this year, and it should be a lot of fun. Thanks again, and until next time, keep your mind free.
Get me that signal. We need more power.